Hello, and welcome to my very first Spirit Island video. For this one, I decided I'm just going to be doing something pretty straightforward. So, I'm going to be going into just a Prussia 6 game, since Prussia is just not too complex at all. And I will be playing with Violence Bringer. I have tried this matchup once or twice, and I think it's a pretty fun one. I love just going crazy with fear, so I'm just going to try that out. Okay, so first off the bat, this starting Explore is unfortunate. I often like being able to, in the Explore, when they explore into any lands with 2 Dahan, I can use a Bat Scout to kick a town out of there and be safe for that Ravage. I at least still do have Predatory Nightmares, I still have Call on Midnight's Dream, and on the next turn I can use my Dread Apparitions to defend in one of these lands at least, but I need to figure out how to not lose too much presence from Blight here. So I probably need to prioritize this, which would mean potentially a Dahan dying over here, unless I just use Bat Scout to gather a Dahan and not and then just let that Blight and lose a Dahan, but still kill a town. Over here, there's also the option of Bat Scouting out of the E1 and doing the same. So I think for this turn, I don't have any presence in lands with a lot of Dahan yet. So Call on Midnight's Dreams is not super useful until I grow into one of those lands. However, I also want to defend in one of these lands next turn or get rid of something. So I think I might just need to try to find some sort of solution for this because I want to be in range of all these. So I don't want to just grow into here or here and be completely cut off from E1. At least that's my thoughts. I might still grow into there just to get a major, because then that major might be able to solve one of these 2 mountains. I'll try that out. And then we will do Call of Midnight's Dreams just to try to get a major. Predatory Nightmares does at least solve this sands here. However, it still just doesn't do much for these 3 lands that will be ravaging next turn. I might just throw in a Bat Scout there, just so I can at least gather a Dahan either here or here. Get some protection in the Ravage. Because it would be really unfortunate if there's a back-to-back Explore build and we get just a city way too early. So before I call on Midnight's Dreams, I'm going to play Night Terrors just to get some fear, and then we'll do our call, gain a major. All right. So Death falls gently from open blossoms. I do have the air elements to threshold that eventually. But what's most important to me is being able to protect this sands by just playing this in my slow phase, and then that would just kill that town. And then all I have to worry about are the 2 mountains. and then I can bat scout into a mountains as well to help with that. So I think I'm going to do Death Falls Gently from Open Blossoms. And I will forget Call Midnight Streams and play the Death Falls. Okay, and we did end up getting a back-to-back of some sort. So this Predatory Nightmares is going to be very helpful into this. So first, I'm just going to do a Bast Scout. Just gather a Dahan. So that in the Ravage, they trade off, they do Blight, but then the town goes away. And then I'm going to do Predatory Nightmares here, which stops that Ravage, and I'll push it over here. And then, actually, I want to push into that jungle just in case I reclaim my Death Falls. So let's do Predatory Nightmares again. And then this will entirely stop that build, which will be really nice. So let's also push these into this land here. This will just be a nice little dump land. Now we'll reclaim, and let's gain a minor power, hoping to maybe get something with defense or anything like that. Okay. So there's no defense, but Scour the Land would generate a bunch of fear in land 7, though that's not really my priority right now. Teeming Rivers can at least remove a blight in both mountains and wetlands. It also has one of the green elements I need for Thresholded Death Falls. It also just has a couple other elements that are very useful. I think I want Teeming Rivers since I'm going to be getting 2 blights in the mountains here, and I already have a blight in the wetlands. So this will serve really nicely in the long run. Predatory Nightmares, Teeming Rivers. Okay, so for this turn, they're building in these 2 lands. They're ravaging here and here, but this doesn't matter unless an event makes that do extra damage, I guess. We also have 3 fear cards that we can maybe believe in to potentially make it so that this blight doesn't happen or something like that. Now for this turn, I can defend with Dread Apparitions, but only for 1 because I don't have the range to generate more fear with my innate, and the rest of my powers are slow. So I think I'm going to hold the Dread Apparitions for next turn so I can defend into this jungle. And then these Dahan can wipe out the city and explore or something. So I think what I'm going to do is play Teeming Rivers, and I'll do a Bat Scout. That way I can actually gather another Dahan into here so that in the next Ravage, all of these just go away. Everything that's built here. And then this Teeming Rivers can be used to clean up this blight so it doesn't cascade in that Ravage, and then I'm fairly stabilized. So I'm just going to do a Night Terrors here and see what happens. So 1 Dahan and Town and City don't participate. Okay, so this land will not be blighting now. That stuff gets rid of that Explorer. That's convenient. For each board, 1 fear if any. With, yep, so that's just a free fear. Okay, let's. Okay. Now, with my dread apparitions, I'm not too worried about defense, though. Everything I have right now is very expensive. So actually, yeah, an extra strife is nice there. Okay. Let's add a strife here for the future. Nice. Okay, so we add a town to a land without any. Now let's see. If I throw it into land 4, that risks a future explore build that is in a blighted land that I could clean up with teeming rivers later, but I don't really want to risk that right now. If I throw it in here, it's going to ravage and blight. So let's throw it in here in case of some beast shenanigans. Teeming rivers cleans up that. Oh wait, I'm not in range for that. Okay. I then will just have to clean up that one, I guess. And then we'll bat scout. I'll gather. Let's see. I'll just gather here. And then, unfortunately, this land is going to blight and cascade. So, as for this turn, I would like to I probably want to make a sacred site somewhere nearby, just so I can start cleaning up blight over here with teeming rivers. It's unfortunate that there will be 2 blight there, but so teeming rivers can't clean that up anymore. This jungle is not going to build because everything will die in the ravage, so I really just have to worry about that. Death Falls is going to be nice for helping with that to some extent. And I can just start kind of using Death Falls to farm over here. However, I'm a little short on energy if I want to do that. So I think I'd rather let's see. I really am struggling for energy. I would like to just get more energy out of this right now. So I'm just gonna add a presence. We'll add one here because I would like to get range to everywhere, and then I'll create a sacred site on a future turn. Now with this Death Falls, I can do a bunch of damage there and add a disease, though I kind of just want to wait till I can threshold that to commit all that energy to it. So I'll do Predatory Nightmares, Dread Apparitions, because I want to have defense into here, which this gives me 1 fear, this gives me 2 fear. That's just enough to defend. All right, and this is why I put that town into that land. Okay, well, I have to do this, unfortunately. So these Dahan will destroy everything. but then I do add a blight there. But this guy still dies in the ravage. Okay. Let's just remove that. Have it not be a problem anymore. And that solves that. No more blight cascade. That's wonderful. Okay. We'll go ahead and add a town here so I can start getting closer to clearing the inland stuff. Or actually, they're exploring in the mountains. We'll add a town then to this wetland. Then I will do a... I might have to just let that jungle blight while I'm just scaling here. So I will get some fear out of this predatory nightmares. Just have to decide where. Fortunately, this is my only sacred site. I think I'll just take a town out of here. Put it into this wetlands. Actually, no. I would like it to be in my own land just in case of some sort of interaction. Okay. And then we'll be on stage 3 next, so we really need to work on cleaning up here. So we have our Death Falls. Unfortunately, that if I do play that, that has to be the only card I play this turn. I can try to draft another major. I think I'll just try to go for a 0-cost minor, and I missed on that, but so absorb corruption is nice because now then I can have my 3 green elements. Let's see, entrap also does that. Absorb is also blight removal, so I'm more leaning towards that. And I also need to still figure out the other elements to threshold that. I only need 1 more air energy, so I think that's fine for air element. I'm gonna grab absorb corruption, and then this turn I'll underplay probably, and I just want to start farming for energy so that I can play my Death Falls thresholded. So I don't have enough of any fear to actually do something in here. I can't defend there, so I think I'm just gonna do my maybe I'll just do a bat scout into here just in case of events before the ravage or anything like that. I'll probably have to just let this cascade unless I decide I want to absorb corruption here. If I absorb corruption, that comes out. I still don't have the presence to be able to do my teeming rivers, so that just doesn't really work out. I can predatory nightmares a town out of here and just completely stop that ravage. So I'll just do that. And then I'll just do night terrors. Right, and then these 2. So that's fun. And then it's with strife. Okay. So if I get a strife out of this fear card, I can skip a ravage there. There's no Dahan in towns or cities. And okay, nope. So I can stop. Oh wait, that's only range 1. Okay, well, I'll stop this one then. Or stop this build from becoming too much of a problem. And with my Bat Scout, I'll just... Oh wait. Oops. Gotcha. Right. So... Actually, what I'll do is... predatory... I'll just farm a bit of fear, so... I'll send this over there. And then my Bat Scout... I'll send that back around over here. Right, now I really need to just get the energy to play all these, and that just needs 2 more energy, which I can get off of that. So I'm definitely using this. I want to create a sacred site here. Actually, no, I can't do that. They're going to be ravaging and blighting there. So I want to create a sacred site, or not a sacred site, just a regular presence right over here. Nope, they're going to that's going to be my cascade land. So I will add a presence here. Okay, so Death Falls and absorb. Perfect. So all of that. Luckily, there's no blight in any of these, and I'm pretty close to terror level 3, or to max terror level, especially with my Death Falls. Oh right, I won't be thresholding the Death Falls. Okay, let's drop the Teeming Rivers and absorb corruption. Actually, let's just completely undo that, because again, I need 1 more air element before I can actually do something with this. So now with my Dread Apparitions, I can actually defend this fairly easily. So let's just do a nice little reclaim 1. Let's grab the Bat Scout, add a presence, that there. And now I can effectively defend this, and then I'll just be getting a cascade here still. But my Dread Apparitions will at least prevent this from blighting. So I want to keep all of these actually ready to go next turn. So I'll have 5, and then actually I have 6, and then I need just 2 more. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the play. Because I don't want to reclaim, I want to gain the energy. And this is gonna get tricky. I'm just gonna Dread Apparitions here. All right, let's add a beast here. That defense is meaningless. Let's see what fear cards I can get. So 5 health worth of invaders from disease, or land. I can completely stop that blight. So let's stop that blight. Okay, so we're gonna ravage here. And we're blighted. That's gonna cascade over here, and then that's defended. Okay, so what's this Explorer Pact again? Oh right, just okay, place town instead. So the Explorer doesn't need to affect coastal land, so I wonder if that'll work. No, okay. we'll just throw a town here because that's already a big problem anyways. Luckily this dies in the ravage, but things are looking a little dicey now. So I need to follow this line. Unfortunately, this line involves taking a lot of blight. So I will be getting one fear card at terror level 3, and that could help prevent a blight cascade up here at least. Let's see, because if I stop that blight, then we take a blight here, we take a blight here, and it cascades. We take a blight here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That is bad. That's an instant loss. So we'll just see what happens with this fear card, I guess. So maybe it'll be really good. Okay, so we'll destroy presence there. Okay, let's see. I can. Ooh, okay. I mean, this doesn't change anything, but I can at least accelerate the fear deck. So we'll weave lies, we'll forget, dread apparitions. We'll add wilds there. Okay. So I can either completely stop a blight here and get some extra fear, and that'll actually get me another terror level 3 fear card. Yeah, that does it. Oh, right, it doesn't because it's not a power. Okay. Cascade out here. Oh, they didn't ravage there. Oh, I thought they were ravaging in the jungles for some reason. Perfect. Okay, so can I win this turn? I am 5 fear away. I think I've got it, yeah. So we'll absorb corruption. We'll both gather and pay to remove a blight. We'll bat scout. Let's see. Let's actually just do this. So, and that's instant win. Yeah, whatever. Okay. That was a really scary game. Really close one, but managed to just barely scrape through. So, this is my first Spirit Island video on the channel, and I'll just be uploading more as I continue to play games. So thanks for watching.